Hello, hello, hello. One more time till we unify our radio hour listeners and we TV viewers on a kushe. Wherever on a day in the world, I dey bring plenty I will do. I dey tell on a morning, I dey tell on a afternoon, I dey tell on a good evening. And I welcome one more time to the Unifier Hour. My name is Navalda Kaikai. And I just want for remind everybody where they on, like how you tune in, do ya share the link, share unto all you on social media platform there where you day. Anybody can catch we. Now any of the social media platform then. We there on YouTube, we there on LinkedIn, we there on Instagram, we there on WhatsApp. Anytime una wan catch we dey on Facebook. Una just go www.richardkonteh.com and una not forget say the content na K not to C www.richardkonteh.com and I dey invite una for share the link to all una social media contact them. So I want for bring on the unifier himself, Dr. Richard Konteh, for make he say hello to we all. Dr. Konteh.
Humble them on a good evening. Glad for the again this evening, and I want to tell Valda, let's thank you for where they make yourself available for this program and the people that were there backstage where they provide support. I want to say thank you. Humble them on a good evening.
Thank you, Dr. Konteh. And as usual, me fumble them, we they go straight into questioning. And I'm sure say everybody they think about this whole registration process. I know say we've been talk about and small last week, but now we don't begin phase two. We don't end phase one. We don't see plenty issues we've been come up phase one. So my first question to you, Dr. Conte, now how many of the issues them where and if you can start off first with maybe just give me a quick rundown of the issues that were being cut up during the phase one, and then how many of them they're able for address going into phase two, whether they're able for address and partially or fully, any one of them where they're able for address going into phase two. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Valda, for this question. I know registration is very critical in the electoral process because the credibility of the entire elections will start with the credibility of the voters register. And so people attach a lot of importance to this register, and almost everybody will supposed to register want the opportunity for making be registered. And I think in democracy now the opportunity I forgive to everybody we're eligible for register for make it register. So now with that understanding, we enter into this voter registration process expecting that the Electoral Commission will do the right thing. The first challenge where will be get, even before the process they start, now where they decide for segment this whole process into two blocks, what they call first phase and second phase. And they divide the country into two. They start with the first 1,815 centers for the first phase, and then the second phase, another 1,815 centers. That in itself gets your own problem because it means you get for one choose which center you want for go and be registered. And so people then simply not be patient enough for wait for the second phase and all of those types of things. And it creates a whole lot of confusion for people then because the level of sensitization not be very adequate. After that, we come with the problem of the equipments. They make a whole lot of noise about the quality of the solar generators, about the quality of the other equipments that we then get for the process, and then assure everybody say it could be a quick process. We know we'll go less than, more than 3 minutes for anybody to make it register. Unfortunately, when the process starts, we experienced a whole lot of malfunctioning of the equipment, starting from the computers, whether they use, to the cameras, whether they use, to the generators, whether they use. So then they stall the process in plenty areas, not even allow the process to start for a few hours or even up to a day or two or three in some instances. And it creates a whole set of confusion and drawbacks in the whole process. The next challenge we will get for do with the software where they use. And in the software, they program them for only accept people them 18 and above. They're not program them for taking people them where they from 17, we go turn 18 by June 24th next year. And they create a whole set of bottlenecks. Another issue will happen like that, then bring in the NCRA for make them will take advantage of the registration process so that we will able uh, get as many people as possible captured into the NCRA database. Let people then will recall that not too long ago, NCRA began do a registration and verification exercise where they allow a range of people for verify the information we they provide, and many more people for register will not be done get the opportunity yet for register previously. And if I can recall, political parties been support the process because we all believe in the idea about a civic register, and we be support. We go out and sensitize with people them and encourage them to make the register. We expectation therefore will be that when it come now for make they say that they extract data from the entire database for user for these elections, but for this registration, we would expect saying that the updated one, the verified one, now NCRA before use. Unfortunately, we discover the NCRA, the data where they hand over to ECSL and where they use, the old one from 2017. So most of the people they will not be they'll register, or all the people will not be registered in 2017. Not be data that database they not they inside database where they use, and then they in itself they create your problems. Another problem we observed was that many of the staff not be well trained, and the standard procedures in terms of the forms the way they if you have for refuse posting the forms the way you go for give if somebody not gets the necessary documents, but they get an elder, a pastor, imam, councillor, member of parliament for certify and verify the age, the form they fulfill. All of those procedures not being too clear to some of the staff, even in terms of the use of the equipment. And that they also create their own bottlenecks. We also get the issue about the police, where sometimes they intimidate people there, then they arrest people them, and just creates a whole uneasy calm in the whole process, which sort of undermine the smooth running of the process. Lastly, in some cases, we even get people that will just deliberately they stall the process for make the no go on as smooth as possible. But the most important and most significant problem we will face being for the first and second time voters, because we see, well, I know I call it a deliberate attempt for refuse them the right for register, but I make I say we been get acute challenges in terms of the first time voters for get them for register, and that will be a serious challenge. And that then that the challenge we still they persist. We still they get challenges with the first time voters in terms of allowing them to register. The problem they become very very serious, and we they hope say they hope say by the time they go to the second phase, they before that address the problem, but it nothing for that happen. The software, they be assured we say they don't update the software for able to capture 17 plus people. So we hope say in this second phase the process could go a bit more smoothly, but we still they get situations in some areas where we are still, of course, they get this problem with the underage voters. We they see reports on social media about some places in the southeast where they bring the machines to a classroom, they line up, picking them and begin register them one after the other. Well, if those pictures all we see now anything for go by, it's a very bad experience. We also they see how then they show we on social media evidence of machines being taken into homes and people being registered. How do they take machines across the border into Liberia and people being registered? All of these half challenges that we face them. So yesterday, we've been called for an emergency meeting of the political parties liaison committee, and that may happen for be one of the APC representatives at the committee, and we raised all of these concerns and we strive for stress, therefore, the need for make ECSL will take the appropriate action for address these issues. So the ECSL, the police, then make a strong commitment, say they will address those issues, and so we will continue for monitor the process and try to see whether the promises will be adhered to. And we will agree for the meet on a weekly basis. So we will meet again next week Wednesday for trying to see how far we have come, and we will know whether we will make significant progress or not.
Thank you so much for that very detailed response. I know say this registration, they on the top of most people their minds, whether na APC or not. Everybody they think about this registration process with all the inherent problem they we don't hear you say you get. So thank you for clarifying some of the problem them, and also for where you mentioned say at least one thing we then try for address now the ability for register they want the way only 17 now but go don't reach the age of majority by the election date. That's kind of good news, and we hope say it will continue for improve. Another question where I just want to ask around this whole issue as a candidate for flag bearer for APC, you seem for, I mean, you don't demonstrate very clearly, say you very cognizant of all the issue the way people then the way the registration process they face. You very much aware of all the problem them, and una even don't meet for try for discuss some of them problem there. But one thing we at the Yeri a lot in the diaspora now that the APC as the official opposition not seem for put out an official statement regarding this registration process and then dissatisfaction with you get any comment on why that is the case?
Well, there are different ways we possibly register in concerns. Since we get the political parties liaison committee, where the party is adequately represented, and then are also a direct opportunity for MEC we engage with the uh, electoral commission and all the stakeholders in the electoral process and bring to the fore all of these issues where we're very dissatisfied with and foresee how we can get the necessary responses where we either satisfy we or not satisfy we will then necessitate other lines of action where necessary. So we believe say yes, we know as a party not issue as a statement, but we party don't present the concerns to NEC. We also up to ECSL, we also aware say other members of the party in their personal capacities don't vent out their views about the process. Me personally, as a campaign, unified campaign, we don't release a video and audio in which we don't present this issue to the public. And today again, will take this opportunity for reach out to the world, and I'm presenting my views as an APC, and also as an aspirant, where all of these issues invariably will get an impact on me and my campaign, and I believe I get a responsibility for do so. And things that tomorrow, or are they plan for hold one or two meetings with all other key leaders now we party, and we'll see how things evolve. But definitely, as a party, we still get we reservations about the process. They bring these things to the attention of the commission where necessary, and we also bring these issues to the attention of the international community. You know, in international diplomacy and governance, there are always different channels where you can use for make you get the appropriate action and the response where you want, and not always aggression. They work sometimes tact and strategic engagement can help, and I believe say we are opting for the latter, and things say we will get there. We will working together because electoral commission get for understand say we get for continue for engage them, and they everybody interest for make we keep this engagement at a level where we ensure dialogue they continue and exchange of views will continue. Believe say we give we maximum results. We'll not get to the stage where too alarming where we believe say we have a change to another level of engagement. But for now, we don't raise the concerns, and going around the country, various stakeholders of the party also don't step up. They do sensitization, they do mobilization, and they try for address the challenges as they arise in the field. We know say we come against some overzealous people we just believe say then go manipulate the process for disadvantage the opposition, but we overcome them in some areas, and in other areas we continue the struggle. But I believe say at the end of the process we all will be happy with the process, I hope. But if they still continue for persist in terms of the wrong means them, then of course we go set up the appropriate line of action within the limits of the law.
Thank you so much, Dr. Conte, for that response there. Me fumble them. Una they listen to the Unifier Hour. And una the catch we on www.richardconte.com. Una not forget say the content na K www.richardconte.com. Dr. Conte just give you a rundown of some of the problem then where um, the voters registration process being they go through, still they go through some of them. Um, and just as a quick summary, sensitization not being adequate. So even the one the way they do the work not being quite well trained. The people then the voter then wait for car register not being quite understand waiting they go on in a lot of areas how for do certain things, like if you not get birth certificates where we know say boku people then a salon not get how for verify say you na Sierra Leonean they not be know them process then they, and there were many different ways they could do it, but I don't mean quite understand. um, then there was a lack of foresight in terms of how they set up the software where then they use for voter registration, where means say they eliminate people then way, even though now they're not quite reach the age of majority, but then we don't reach the age of majority by the time where the elections they come. So a lot of inherent problems. But one piece of good news we share with we was that at least that one way the one day way 17 now and go 18 by the time for vote, and then don't try for adjust the start date of the registration, so at least that day we don't see some improvement. Now that we day into phase two, still with the Boku problem them within the carry machine then go across the border for go register people there with the Eri problem there of then they carry the machine then go in a classroom line up even underage voter them for vote. And I mean common sense they tell we say plenty of them in they happen simply because a certain group of people then they abopsy then go get people there on board where go can vote for them, whether the people then legally able for vote or not. I got up we. Um, I mean, just now something you've been mentioned. You say there are various avenues where, as an APC party, when at the official opposition, not only for put out an official statement. It's not always aggression that works, but sometimes diplomacy is the way to go. And una opt or APC opt for that one day, and it seemed for they produce some effect. But you also mentioned, say, plenty of the party stakeholder them and different faction, then they do certain things. I've been want to ask you about that one day. Yes, indeed. Um, we don't hear plenty different organization there and faction there of the party, like the diaspora, and then where they in the West, the diaspora, and they where they in the African continent. Everybody, many people there where they aspire for positions, then campaign them. They try for um, make their own mark in trying to help this registration process along. But waiting, my question to you is this: all of these efforts definitely, I feel, say they will help in a way, but would it not be better if the party able for organize in such a way that then get a central body where all of their efforts they are for be channeled through, so that um, the party as a whole they make an impact um, as a collective effort instead of these individual efforts? Because when you do individual efforts, obviously some go be um, duplicated.
Yeah, that is very true, Vanda. But party, they go through a very delicate stage in political history. We go through a transition, and the current leadership will be getting an interim leadership, and some of the members when they inside that leadership now gets the experience, the maturity, and what have you, were required for provide the right type of leadership where the party need going forward. So we need for complement the process as much as possible. In terms of how for channel interventions, well, whereas it is good for make everything be channeled centrally, but sometimes when you decentralize, you need more people. Because when you over centralize, sometimes the reach whose side is supposed to reach. And so when people then want for reach out as much as possible with whatever interventions they get, they may be helpful for make them go direct. I mean, we campaign, for example, whilst we always support the party in all of its activities and we make with time available for that process. On this registration in particular, we find it necessary that we for reach out directly to people then for try for identify with them during this process, provide whatever little support we can provide to them, understand the issues, and maybe see how we can articulate or escalate all those issues to the necessary authorities and for try for elicit the right type of response where will be needed for address those concerns. And I think that is the approach where we don't take and we don't go all over the country and in the Western area, and we engage, we provide support here and there. Me personally don't go out also in the field for try for engage, especially in the north, which we people there for try for directly support the process in little ways. I think that if we all do that for a party in opposition, if we all do that, I think say we all will able complement the work where the party structure supposed for do. We have challenges very understandable in an elections here where people they run different campaigns. I believe say people also want to get some political capital out of whatever interventions that they make. So sometimes under those circumstances, it can be helpful when campaigns then go direct to the people and present their own uh, support to the people and make ensure say the desired outcome is actualized, and which for us in the Unifier team, we get people all over the country to come out and register so that come June 24th, 2023, they'll get the opportunity for cast their vote and put in place the government where they want for lead them going forward.
Thank you, Dr. Conte. I just want to ask you one last question about this whole registration. You mentioned, say, the NCRA, we don't do this registration verification process, where means, say, they may get an updated list of potential voters. But when it can time for hand the list to the ECSL, now an old list they hand over. Um, how serious is that with respect to the whole voter registration? And is there anything where we as the opposition, APC party as the opposition, can do for um, maybe get this for addresser now where we just enter phase two? Is it possible now where we just enter phase two for let them revise that list there and actually give the updated one?
No, well, it not will change much. It's just that for some people, if they give the chance for repeat, which they don't already do. Because if they don't use the updated list, then when an old person will be don't go verify or update the information come, they will just click the button, the details will come, and the process will be faster. So it just delay the process. You know, they derail the process completely. You just
Okay.
delay the process, and I think say at that time they go on, and it will be okay at the
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Conte. As a unifier campaign, I know say the unifier campaign they do so much not only for the party, but for the people of Sierra Leone. And I know say in answering some of my question they were asked you just know you don't kind of touch on some of the things there where the unifier campaign don't do for aid the party for aid the voter registration. But I be want for make you just highlight um some of the work where you they do. Let people then know say um the unifier, Dr. Richard Conte, uh not to you know they wait until he get elected for work. He already don't begin the work.
Well, as I say, on this registration, I don't send meetings all over the country, and we don't meet with party people at all levels. We don't engage. We don't try to understand their concerns, and we don't give people support to their processes where they go on. And on a daily basis, we will continue to provide financial and material support to the process. We buy megaphones, we give money because the need for go around and sensitize, and the need for higher vehicles, the need for fuel, uh, 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 their bikes, and the need for give some remuneration or some allowances to the people there where they sacrifice their time for serve as agents for the party in the various centers. So that one is happy. But in addition to that, I tell you, I say they are on the political parties liaison committee, and we also are very active. They articulate with concerns to the necessary stakeholders for try to make sure say we get a smooth process, because inevitable say this process can go on, and we hope say it can be a very successful process. They also help the party leadership as we go through this transition with the teething issues. We try for ensure say we build peace, we build unity in the party, and we harmonize the differences so that we can see progress. We don't work with the leadership for try for make sure say we get the rules and regulations finalized. This past week, we see we did that at the PPRC for try for engage with the objectors for try for harmonize. I hope say that process is ended. Now the next stage, I forget the transitional independent interim elections management committee in place when they get to be responsible for the conduct of the lower level elections up to the national convention. And it's my understanding that lists have been submitted of prospective members of that committee. So those lists again need to be harmonized into one list, and I think so we will make progress. So yes, we are making some progress, though at a very snail pace, but we are supporting the process from the background as part of the peace facilitators and moral guardians of the party, because we believe, say, we know we'll let things for just go different ways. We get for help for bring things together. We get for help for resolve any differences that way maybe they rear their ugly faces, so that we go try for ensure say everything will go on well in the best interest of the party.
Thank you so much, Dr. Konteh. Mifambule Unadoyeri, the Unifier campaign, they take a leadership role in terms of helping along the registration process for make sure say, especially we own voter them, they all go outside and go for register. They support the process by helping the one day way don't give them time for ensure say the voter registration process could be smooth. Then they support them with logistics. So we don't see, say, the Unifier campaign don't take a leadership role in this area. At this point, I just want for introduce a couple other people there we don't join we for form a panel. I want to introduce Mr. Sheka Clever, and I go allow him for tell Una a little bit about himself. Mr. Sheka, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Host, Valda Kaikai, ladies and gentlemen, good Rimi, the send greetings to everybody. My name Sheka Clever Kamara. The chairman for the Unified Diaspora, and since we start this organization. I know Google because I want for encourage members, listeners for make them will ask me so many questions. So therefore, I will just say, tell my all plenty. Thank you and welcome una all. Name Cheka Clever Kamara. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shekhar. I also want to take this opportunity for introduce Mr. Mege. He's not a new face here. Mr. Mege, you want to tell we listener and viewer that I'll do? I think you're muted.
My family on a good evening. Whichever part of the world you day on a kushe.
Thank you so much. So I pose this question now to both Mr. Shekhar and Mr. Mege. Of course, Dr. Konteh, you can chip in as you see fit. I see a poster come out. We name the current interim leader of the APC party as a flag bearer aspirant. I want for you waiting to be on our reactions to Dandy. Mr. Shekhar.
Thank you, Madam Host. Actually, I just not too long ago I see that post. But one thing I want for say in general that every Sierra Leonean is qualified to run for any position where you want to run. The mainstream politics, and including the APC also. The interim chairman, I think the orders who come on courts who they operate under is specifically clear ways who we get for participate as an interim chairman. So therefore, believe to say that order will get for follow. So that's me just get for see in that capacity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shekhar. Mr. Mege, you want what more small on there?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, they react when you see things like that in our social media because the world is so polarized with negative and positive news and fake news. So they jump to the bit right away when you see it. Now, sometimes things again they come out. There might be some truth in it, but you don't know. So me, I don't want to react. I go and respond. The response is if it's true, waiting and put out there. If it's true, if it's in a conflict of interest, uh, then also as a party there is some qualifications where you get for meet in order for one for flag bearer. So I don't know if the interim chairman meet those qualifications. So again, if it's true, there are certain things where if you meet all the qualifications for it become eligible for run, then why not? Uh, but if you don't meet then qualification, maybe you try to bend the rule so you can meet the qualification, then that's wrong. So and again, if not lie, well, he's a leader. You just take him on the chin and keep moving. But I don't want to react on that. I just want to respond thinking that it might be fake news. I don't feel say uh, it could be too last minute for let it come in as a member, take the party to court, now become the interim chairman, then all of a sudden become a flag bearer. I mean, APC is not as childish, or people and APC members are not as, they're very intelligent. Then go look at it's too short of a time. And again, if you qualify according to the party constitution, then right. But again, I don't know if that go able for bring with victory 2023 with all the negative news will be coming and in terms of the division of the party. But again, I just want to rub mud in something very small. Let me be careful uh, with that as well, because there's a strategy called divide and conquer. So if the party look divided and the unified, they try to really work hard to bring them together, which then we goal. We all now one with the type of work for unity, because when we unite, we get more power, more force. So this divide and conquer strategy, if they get somebody in, like what's in the gun right now, so then get we all distracted. And the small analogy I could use, if you want tame a lion in the zoo, then they use a four-legged stool, because as powerful, as ferocious as the lion is, but if you focus on those four legs, he's being distracted. So you're not going to zero in on what he wants because you get distraction with those four. So the party right now is seeming as if the main party is trying to put some divide and conquer, put some confusion between. So we could be distracted. It's a distraction, it's an intrusion to cause confusion. So if somebody get distracted and definitely they'll be confused. They're not going to focus. So let we be careful as a party. Let we not get distracted even to the last minute. By the time they get we close then now, game door over. All right. So anyway, again, just to rub mud, it might be a fake news with Alfred Peter Konteh trying to go for flag bearer.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mege. I really like your analysis, because Mr. Sefmin, they think along the line, then they think, say, but wait, first of all, it's late. Secondly, I think it is a conflict of interest. And thirdly, is it real? So thank you for bringing up those points. I want to address a question to the unifier, Dr. Richard Konteh. Dr. Konteh, you able for Giwi a rundown of a person in that position there as interim chairman, waiting go cause or waiting go amount to a conflict of interest in the case that that person in that position they want for run as a potential flag bearer?
Well, I think we get for first of all understand say the establishment of the interim transitional governance committee is based on the court order. And the court order we come in place is very clear about who that qualify or serve on this ITGC, and what are the expectations in terms of which positions they can run for or not run for. So maybe we need to go back to the court ruling for determine whether or not then qualified, the members then qualify for run for any position, including that of the flag bearer. Secondly, of course, we also get for a look at what is right or what is not right, what is ethical, what is not ethical, and waiting not go compromise the neutrality we anticipated in the functioning of the ITGC and the responsibility we then give them for provide oversight leading to the National Delegates Conference. So I think say it could be too much of haste for make we jump into conclusions about the veracity or otherwise of the publication. Myself see the publication, but we might just dismiss it. I believe say if Peter Konteh want for run for flag bearer, the first thing we go do that for resign as chairman of the ITGC, and then he will be a Sierra Leonean. He will be 40 years above 40. He will be of a sound mind, and I believe say he will meet all the requirements of becoming a member of parliament, and therefore nothing will stop her for long. I believe say in that case, after he don't resign as chairman of the ITGC, then he will qualify like any other possible one for run for the position of flag bearer, and then the best man win.
Thank you so much, Dr. Konteh, for that clarification there. So I'll go move along. But honestly, the visual ethics don't look good at all. So my next question, and are they change gears completely? Are they posed to Mr. Sheka Clever as the chairman of the Unifier Campaign Diaspora? I want for make you tell we waiting do you they support the Unifier?
Oh God, that's a very good question, Mr. Kaikai. I don't do in politics for long, but I will just make since 1977, I don't operate fully under APC politics. So I don't go through all the president and what APC been done. We don't run through APC as national president from Sheka Stevens Mahmoud down to Ms. Koroma. I don't support all the aspirants, even including Dr. Samura, for the 2018 elections, who unfortunately will not be able to win. But I support the unifier, Dr. Richard Konteh, not because of the name Dr. Konteh. Now, a young man, fine young man. But one thing who, as a human being, who Dr. Richard Konteh gets, who really convinced me for saying this is someone who I was able to throw me support to, is that now the person who not ungrateful. Ungrateful in a sense. Grateful for every little thing you do for him. I come from Dr. Richard Konteh 2008. Now, I come from Noam, United States of America. One day we not meet somebody who not in family relative call me and say, look, this man they come. I want for make he go pick him up. So I go pick him up. Fast forward, we come to my house, we see them. At that time, he was a minister of trade, I believe, at that time. But the man doesn't look, claiming a position, be in a position of authority. He came as a human being to me. And now that it begin to convince me for say, because I don't know so many people would be in a position of authority in Sierra Leone and the Canada, then they completely therefore It feels say they are superior more than you would and they meet. But not so Dr. Richard Konteh. He sized down himself to the human being. And from that time to now, he go only Dr. Richard Konteh, you go meet him one time and he go know your name from that time they forward. He not go miss you. And only, and as I tell you, I don't serve so many people now politics. Now only Dr. Richard Konteh go able for say yes, I go able for give that credit day. And also Dr. Richard Konteh, despite of all the position where he did, as he did always serving God, now a godly human being. And that again, that the maximum respect. We don't go into discussions here and back home who are the watcher. In fact, some of the time I they throw a provocative uh, statement just for Yeri who that he be. But he stand firm within God.
Mm.
And a human being like that, I think to say we country needs today. We need a godly person. And also, not to that, he is a leader. When Dr. Richard Konteh, they ask we all for do something, he always did it with us. He not they send people. He did it with you. I don't watch all his steps. So I look at and say, if Sierra Leone, with all what we go through, particularly now, the person who we really need for make that country day will come back, unify and change for the better. Now, Dr. Richard Konteh, and he make, I believe to say, I support him and they ask each and every Sierra Leonean who they hear who they talk this evening for make he go support Dr. Richard Konteh because not the right person. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sheka. You hit on a couple of things that we me self personally they support Dr. Conte for. That fear where he get of God, where for me they translate into a fear of wickedness. Because right now, the problem where we they face na salon, the underlying cause na wickedness. People that will not care about Sierra Leone and them, they not care about the country in better one. Dr. Conte, because of in fear of God, in no say, in need for do waiting is sign up for do. In know waiting it is sign up for, and he ready for execute in a way where every Sierra Leonean will go they under the time where in they run the country. And by God power, I go run the country. Every Sierra Leonean will say, yes, indeed, we get a good president. Um, I want to pose the same question to me other panelist, Mr. Mege. Mr. Mege, do you tell we listening and viewing audience why you throw your support behind the unifier?
Oh, it's very simple, very easy. I've always advocated Dr. Richard Content the right man for this time that country day because the problem then we get in Sierra Leone right now takes his own kind of leadership. He's competent, he get charisma, he get character. He's a good speaker. He's God fearing. He got compassion. I mean, I can go and give you word after word where they describe the man what they talk about. So when you look at Sierra Leone right now, we have a leadership problem. And leader where they afraid God, because when the righteous rule, the people rejoice.
Amen.
So when you get God fearing leader at the hem, at the head of the country go better.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we're not the dance devil. We need a leader, we're not the worship devil. We need a leader who they worship God. Leader who they afraid God. And we need a leader who get conscience for humanity. And we need a leader who developmentally minded. I mean, these are the characters of Dr. Conte. Okay, a leader who developmentally minded, who smart, and also it get the right message for this time in that country. Stay unified. We all now one. Sierra Leone is two. divided. We need to come together as a country. So you get the right message for this time that our country today. It get capacity, is very smart, is a visionary, it get money, that's another thing. You know, I put poor money on that. If you put poor money in, I go thief. Like they we own neighbor than they do right now. After 22 years, you know, work, if they put you inside, I go thief. That man they don't left work for how many years? They run in business, they run school, they run other things. Them. So it proves say he able to be a good money manager. Okay. So he get the right message, he get money, get the mental capacity, and then a grassroots politician, he get the masses, the average man. One, he come out from a humble background, so he can relate to the high ups and the low downs. He can go to the village and go back to the city. So again, there are so many adjectives for describe Dr. Konteh, where if you look for credible, God-fearing, developmental, visionary, smart, intelligent, good man, good, compassionate person, we no wicked. You know, we get hot, we go say this is too rough to do against another human being. Dr. Richard Konteh is your person. And somebody will get courage. Again, are full with C's and M's.
Yes.
Courage, compassion,
Yes.
competency, character, clarity. I mean, you can go, I can just put them all down. These are characters we will need right now in our country. We need a man we go stand up. He's tall, he's fine, he's handsome, approachable. I mean, I can go on and on and on to describe the man what they talk about. But again, if Salon want better at this time, now this year, or this year, 2023, we need to vote for Dr. Richard Konteh. From the party, first of all, we don't see how he don't defend the party. When all man quiet, Dr. Richard Konteh is standing up. I mean, no, we reward him, knowing that he's a man of courage. Because we in opposition, sometimes you don't want to talk. But in the team up with courage, say, you know, when I go kill me no more now, but I go talk. And this is not my country, you know. And he's not involved in all this criminal. I mean, you go look back in record. Look at in record, you know, look at in record. I mean, this is a man that was put in prison, falsely accused, and you come back after 2, 3 years, there is no charge against him. I mean, come on. You know, I mean, I can go, literally, I can write a book about this man. So, me just say, if we want for win, APC, let we put a leader we courageous, we get competent, we not afraid, and we also love humanity.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mege. Indeed, you really described Dr. Konteh, but not true. Time not enough for describe all the good character then where Dr. Konteh get. And indeed, Sierra Leoneans, all APCians, for true. If we not really want for see APC back to power 2023, and I not make a mistake for vote for any other person except Dr. Richard Konteh. Now, you are the only one we're able for carry this party with all the inherent problems, all the issues where we they go through. Dr. Richard Konteh are the only one we're able for carry this party and ensure say 2023 we indeed get back to power. Dr. Konteh, we get about 5 minutes in the program, and I want to make you address the voter them. The right now, we know say we they get closer and closer to wrapping up the primaries, the lower level elections, and every election we complete means the delegates then don't they. I want to make you address then delegates then they whether them don't make up their mind or they not make up their mind yet. I want to make you tell them why they for vote for you, sir.
Thank you very much, Valda. I want for start for address this whole issue around the voters registration. I want to start by making an appeal to all Sierra Leoneans. You know, this issue about registration for me, not a partisan issue. It is a civic responsibility. And because now a civic responsibility, I want to appeal to every Sierra Leonean, make it come out and register. Because when you register, then you get the right for vote and choose the leader we believe say this country go need going forward. To members of a party, as we go through very soon the lower level elections and elect the leader who we need for moving forward, I want we put the party above everything else. I want we choose a leader for this time. A leader will demonstrate, say, he go dey for we. He go defend we. He go fight for we rights. A leader when a real APC person. Not so a leader we can find job beside APC. We not get APC next in am. A leader we ready for lead from the front. They wouldn't demonstrate say he can lead from the front. A leader we could be there for address the issues. A leader where we can call on when we need them. And a leader where we will believe say he could be there for we when we need I not go abandon we. A leader who not go make us feel a stranger. A leader who will bring back this country together, bring back the parties together, and put this country back on the right trajectory for development. And not only about talking, a leader will demonstrate over the years for say he can do that. Together, I believe say we can make a better APC. Together, we can build a better Sierra Leone. And together, posterity will judge you well. Support Richard Konteh. Vote Richard Konteh. Vote your conscience. Vote APC. And make Sierra Leone great again.
Awesome.
We lose you. We lose Unoderi.
Thank you so much,
Okay.
Dr. Konteh. We don't come back to the end of another Unifier Hour. And I sure say everybody will tune in, will listen, don't learn a few things, and also don't understand the kind potential where Dr. Konteh get for run with country when he win the flag bearer as well as the presidency. I just want to tell everybody we tune in. Thank you for tuning in. Um, then this program will be available very shortly on the YouTube page. I want for make una share them as widely as possible because people they need for know. They need for know who that for vote for flag bearer for this we APC party. We party need help. Dr. Konteh na the solution. Thank you everybody and see you again next week, same time, same place.
Tata.
Thank you, Mrs. Kaikai.
The panelists, and I can say a quick goodbye to we viewers. Mr. Sheka.
Viewers, una thank you and goodbye. I go talk to una again next Saturday.
Mr. Mege? Oh, okay. I think so we all lost Mr. Mege. And Dr. Konteh, you want to say a final goodbye?
Humble them. Una good night. And I thank you for this time when I share with you.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Goodbye, viewers. Goodbye, listeners.